All right, I'm about to say something, and you're gonna say, "Well, he's Homer Simpson." So of course, Homer Simpson is going to make a bold statement like Lane Kiffin will win a national championship at LSU next year, right? Not this year, even though I wouldn't be surprised, but next year he's winning a national championship. Well, TJ, why next year instead of this year? This year isn't important? You don't think they could do it this year? You know, sometimes the ground has to set, right? Well, my grandmother used to grow collard greens in the backyard, right? And we always hated, when it was time for her to plant the collard greens because somebody had to go back there and do something called turning over the dirt. Turning over the dirt. Anybody who's ever done anything dealing with planting, turning over the dirt, it's this pain in the ass process where you have to get a shovel, right? Break up all this nappy ass grass and then build strips of mounds, rows. And my grandma was real anal about this shit. The row had to be straight and the hill had to be 5 inches, right? 5 inches for her collard greens. Couldn't be too high, couldn't be too low, right? 7 inches at the most. And a trench had to be cut up the middle. And all of that, right, is the same way you build a football team. Before you can plant anything, before you can grow anything, somebody has to turn over the dirt, right? Somebody has to do the hard shovel work of digging, right? And when you dig, you don't just dig to bury. You dig also to grow. And we have to dig a little bit. We have to dig within ourselves. And most importantly, we have to dig in the only area that's responsible for a national championship. And that is a defensive line. A defensive line. You can't do it without it. You showed me, and I know I keep bringing them up, but when it comes to greatness, unfortunately, Nick Saban is the point of reference. He's the main he's Exhibit A. That's another fucking Alabama. Alabama is Exhibit A of football success because anybody could be a one-night stand. Anybody could be a one-hit wonder. But when the whole album is good, well, Alabama was a Thriller album of greatness. And in every one of those teams, the single was Billie Jean. The single was the defensive line. You have to have it. If you don't have it, you're not winning SHIT in the SEC or college football or Little League. You're not winning shit. You have to have a defensive line. And shortly behind that, right behind that, on the heels of that, got to have an offensive line. But it starts with a defensive line. Well, TJ, why do you put everything on the defensive line? Because you may struggle to score, but if they can't score either, then you might get out that shit with a tie. If they cannot score, they can't win. Well, what sets the tone on a team scoring or not is not a quarterback. How you know, TJ? The Alabama came in the Superdome and the damn score was 9-6. It was 9-6 when I formed this mentality. Yeah, we had the Pittsburgh Steelers back in the day. They established that it was a defensive line. The old Chuck Noll football teams believed in the defensive line, but that never really hit home for me. Where that shit hit home at, when I was in that dome and I watched that defensive front. And I had studied them all year, but I watched two of the best defensive fronts, LSU and Alabama. That's all both teams had. They didn't have no offense. They wasn't doing all that fancy stuff we've seen them later do with Waddle and Devonta Smith. They wasn't doing all that shit. They didn't believe in it. Pitching the ball was against their religion. What led to all of that greatness, guys? Just trust me on this. I don't know a lot about a lot of things. But when it comes to winning a championship, I can look at a team game one. I could look at scrimmage footage and tell you across all of college football who's going to win a national championship. And to do that shit, you need 4 guys up front. If you have those 4 mean-ass, mentally ill individuals, you got a chance. You got a shot. It has to be the kids that stay in shit. They're always in the coach's office. Somebody always got to tell them calm down or chill out. If you don't have them 4, you're not winning shit. Just trust me on this. And the reason why LSU will win next year, possibly do it this year, but next year, it's because of what Lane Kiffin is doing and the recruitment of defensive tackles. That's the turning over of dirt that Ed Orgeron did. The reason why we won in 19 is because of the 4 guys we had up front. And we put 4 up there. We didn't do this 3 shit all the time. Sometimes we put 4 people on the line and challenge that 4 to be 5. Get your ass back there and disrupt that shit. Stop them from doing that shit. Somebody has to be able to stop them from doing that dumb shit that they're doing. When he drop back or he's in that single quarterback shit, somebody got to be coming up the middle with some felony intentions, with some aggravated assault intentions. And the only place you're going to get that, guys, is from a defensive line. You got to have 4 of the most amazing defensive linemen in this country. And if you have it, like LSU, you're going to win a national championship. And you can put, I put my SNAP benefits on that shit. I put my light bill on it. LSU will win it next year. Put me down for it. TJ, LSU dad.